So today's YouTube video, we are going to talk about and kind of get some recipes in there of how we can make a brunch bar easy, right? Like people are like, brunch bars. What? What is a bar? Why do we even have a bar? And why can't it be easy? So today I'm gonna show you tips. I'm gonna give you a couple recipes. We're gonna demonstrate those out. And I'm gonna talk about how bars, brunch bars, just brunch in general came to be, and then we'll get to cooking. What exactly is brunch, guys? Have you thought about that? Or do you know what brunch is? Well, brunch is that kind of in between. You're not quite at breakfast, but you're not quite at lunch. And I like to call it my in-between meal, where I can have like chicken and eggs. I know that sounds crazy, but you can have both of both worlds when you're at brunch, right? So brunch is that in-between meal, and we call it brunch. So just kind of a little heads up of what that is. But let's talk about, more importantly, the types of foods that you associate with brunch, right? So you have your savory, you have your sweets, because that comes in. You have your sweet and savory, or salty and sweet, or whichever way you want to do it. But your savory food, you have like your eggs, your sausage, your bacon. Sometimes you can have like turkey or roast or whatever is like appeasing your palate if you're wanting that savory bit. Or any type of breakfast meat, ham, or even a steak or something like that that can be associated between both of those, because you can have a steak for lunch or breakfast depending on what you want to do. Some of like your sweet foods, like Danish, like sweet Danish, or sometimes people have like chocolate croissants, or a biscuit can be either way depending on if you want it savory, and then you can change it to add butter to that. So those are kind of some of the things. And then you have your salty, like your hash browns and anything that has eggs, or it's in your salty and your savory part. Are they, to me, kind of go hand in hand together, right? So how can brunch be executed and where? We're like, where can we get this stuff? Like, can I have it at home? Of course you can. Can you go to a restaurant, like a coffee house? There are a lot of things that you can get brunch for, and notoriously on Sunday is a big brunch day. Between the hours of 10 and 2 are big brunch hours, and mainly on Sunday. But guess what, guys? You can have brunch at any day, anytime. And really what I associate brunch with is Sundays, entertaining, and holidays. And we are right in the holiday season. So what a perfect time to explore brunch. So let's talk about the different types of bars. We have a food bar, which can be breakfast, lunch, brunch, lunch, dinner, appetizer bar, or we can have a drink bar. How do you keep this food warm, or how do you make sure the food stays plentiful? One of my tips is you can put things like eggs and things in a crock pot on warm, and that'll keep your eggs warm. When you're ready, muffins can go in the oven. If you want your bacon warm, also oven, put it and wrap it up. That way it'll stay warm. Or you can just leave it as is and let everybody eat and feast on its own. So let's talk about benefits. The benefits of setting up a food bar and drink bar at home during the holidays or for entertainment purposes, right? Ease, cost conscious. You can remain at home with family and friends, and really you can just explore your creative juices. You can add, take away, put things on here that you would eat, like muffins and eggs, if you want to make this kind of go in between. And then we have the bagels and the cream cheese and capers and vegetables. This can be as small or as big as you want it to be. The beautiful thing is nobody has to know what's in your head. You can put out what you want to. Also, the best thing about this is you can do this with people that may have allergies. You can have gluten-free foods on one end. You can have vegetarian, people that eat meat or anything on one end. So just let your creative juices explore. Another great benefit to this bar is that it's buffet style. You are not serving people. They can pick up and do whatever you like. Same thing with the drink option. And I will go into more detail about the mimosa, and we'll actually make one. All right, So we are at the section where we are going to make our first recipe. We're going to be making candied bacon. So what you need for this is half a cup of maple syrup, half a cup of brown sugar packed, a pound of your favorite thick cut bacon. You'll need like a roaster. So basically this is just a deep pan with a rack on it. You'll need a brush and a pair of tongs, okay? So the first thing you're gonna do is take your bacon and you're just gonna make sure you give it a little space to separate, guys. You don't want to overcrowd because you want it to make sure that it crisps up. So once you get finished laying out the bacon, what you want to do, take your brush and your maple syrup, and you're just going to dab your maple syrup and make sure that you brush your bacon all the way down. And you're just going to do this for each slice, okay? Just make sure, guys, you're swiping it down because one dab is usually all it takes to get it completely covered, okay? So once we have that done, you're gonna take the brown sugar and then you're just gonna sprinkle it down. Sprinkle it all the way down. Guys, there's no method or right way or wrong way to do this. Just sprinkle it, make sure the entire bacon part is covered. And make sure that you can break these little pieces up as well. So you can get your kids to join in if you wanna do this. You let them participate in making this a fun activity. You can do this as well. Okay, so you just want to pat it in. Just pat, pat, pat. Nothing hard, guys. You will get sticky fingers, so be very careful. This is not the activity for you if you do not like sticky fingers at all. So we have that, and so this is gonna go into the oven for 12 to 14 minutes. I say watch that because you will need to flip this over at that halfway mark, guys. All right, to the oven we go. All right, so we are back. The bacon has just come from the oven. We're just gonna flip it over, okay? So once we got everything flipped over, we're gonna go back and repeat the same thing over again, okay? Maple syrup, drag. Same thing, guys. All right, so now that we have that done, we're gonna go back to our brown sugar. Sprinkle. And it's okay if it gets to the bottom. Do not be concerned about that. Just make sure you sprinkle it all the way over. All right, you're gonna give this a little tap. A little tap. Tap, 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 tap. Okay, so we are done here, guys, and we're gonna pop this back in the oven for another 12 to 14 minutes. And this part will be depending upon how crispy that you want your bacon to be. So if you don't want it less crispy, err on the side of like 12, 13 minutes. If you want it crispy, err on the side of closer to 15 minutes, okay? So back in the oven we're going. All right, guys, so we are to our mimosa bar. This is a drink part of the holiday entertainment section of being at home. You can have a little juice, a little fruit, a little bubbly. That'll get you through your brunch phase. This is kind of one of those drinks that you do have at brunch, whether you like it alcoholic or non. If kids want to do this, you can have just the juice and fruit. But I'm going to demonstrate how to make the alcoholic version of a mimosa. All right, so I'm going to choose grapefruit juice, and we're going to choose that. I'm going to go ahead and pick this up. We're going to add a little grapefruit juice to the champagne flute. Okay. Go ahead and put that down. I'm gonna go ahead and add my fruit in here. So you can pick and choose some fruit, however you want this to look. You can just drop it on in there. And then your final thing is you're gonna add your champagne to top it all off. All right, guys. And so there you have your mimosa.